what was your relationship like with Jerry? Did you guys ever talk or
Yeah, we
anything?
very. I've seen and known Jerry since we were younger.
Because he had a lot, I don't, him and his dad, I mean, him and your dad had
Had
the
a great,
falling out,
yeah, they had a major
but
falling
he
out.
always spoke highly of your dad.
Yeah, of course. I mean, like they hand in handly did a duty of growth in life and fame and wealth with each other. You know what I mean? If it wasn't for Jerry, NWA, my father wouldn't be what they were. If it wasn't for my father, Jerry wouldn't be what it was. You know what I mean? So it was a relationship in one until it went bad. You know what I mean? Until, you catch people in their hands in a cookie jar. And that was detrimental, you feel what I'm saying? And because of the fact of it was, no need for that. You feel what I mean? You're teaching me how to be and how, put me in position to be the owner and this, that, and the other. And it's like, hey, I'm going to teach you all this, and then turn around. And when you turn around, I'm in your back pocket. And then when you turn around and look at me, I'm asking for my percentage. You know what I mean? So that's just like disrespect on disrespect.
Yeah, I think I seen a Vlad interview recently where Yellow was talking about that, he would get, um, he was like double dipping. He would get paid from here, then he would get paid to be, he get paid for the record label, then he'd also get paid to be everybody's manager, and it was like, that stuff's you're not supposed to do that stuff.
Yeah. Outside of that, it was a lot of in-house personal, more so than in your face double dipping. It was like I say, behind your back double dipping, then come in your face and ask for my regular percentage. So that was just hurtful for my father, you know what I mean? And that was detrimental. Not to make him cry, but to make a man, when you're paying you it's like you go into the plug and you dip it in on my expense, and then I get back and they say I owe $5 to $10 million. Why? Because it's got authorized. Like how? Well, so.
Yeah, we hear a lot of sad or falling outs in the music industry, man. It's
Yeah.
it seems like there's kind of like no control or no, everybody, a lot. It just seems like a lot of bad things happen in the music industry, man. It's kind of seems like it's been part of the business. Have you ever talked to Dre or anybody about your dad's falling out?
No, I've talked to Drake plenty of times, but never really sat down about their fallout. You know what I mean? Never really did. That's different. Maybe that'll be a bucket list coming going forward, but nah, I just never really brought that up with them. It seems like always is a cool situation to sit here and throw in a vibe of that. As I was a kid, it was more, being younger, it was more so the just astonishing of being around. Maybe thinking that a man will sit here and want to have that conversation with you. So as a kid, a young 20-year-old, you didn't think to really bring it up, but open to the conversation. And as I got older, it was like, by that time it was, not too much of a thought process to want to bring up, you know what I mean? And
It didn't mean as much as you got older. It was like, friends fall out.
yeah,
It seems like, I mean, well, I believe I seen an interview where Cube talks about how they kind of squash things, and your dad and Dre actually had a phone call, and
yeah,
they were talking about getting a group
group
together, but it
get,
was
yeah,
just
yeah.
kind of doing things.
But as to why, you know what I mean? And it's hard for anybody to think of maybe negative things that you did in your life that you weren't happy or okay with, and then has a bad outturn. So it's like always is, when I was younger, it's like, I don't want to be that thorn. They don't want to bring me around because this kid's going to ask me questions. And, what I mean? It was more so, it's like, hey, let's see what type of love that they got still. You feel what I'm saying? Like, but if I go in there with this spearhead, bringing up something they kind of sensitive to, you know what I mean? It just, business is funny. You feel what I'm saying? It's a lot of individuals that could tell you they real, and it's not, you know what I mean? And not to speak and saying I'm directing this, pointing this at Dre, is just, you just figured that out and learn that as you get older, you know what I mean? And a person could say, hey, I'm 100% real. Real homies will knuckle it up and sit down and have a beer. Or if I'm wrong and you're wrong, let's sit down and talk about it. But if you get upset about it, you're hiding and all that, that speaks volumes to that individual's character. You feel what I'm saying? I learned that at a young age, you feel what I'm saying? Like, hey, we got problems, talk about it. And that's how we grew up with a lot of our friends. We gonna have a problem and, hey, we mad, we gonna fight, we gonna get up the next morning. It's like, hey, you gonna see my bike in your front yard. Like, what's happening? You coming outside? You feel what I'm saying? It's like, that's just how I was raised from my city. You expect in this industry, everybody raps about being real, you know what I mean? Everybody raps about being this thorough, you know what I mean? But it's like, no, it's not, you know what I mean? You hit an individual up, hey, you just wanna camaraderie, see what's going on. You claim you just this, you got so much respect for this, and then it's like, Everybody's just on their weird tip. I don't want to feel weird around this person. I got an ego. I don't want this person talking down on me or asking me questions I feel like I'm going to be embarrassed at or this, that, and the other. So this is what this industry is. It's just a lot of so-calleds. You feel what I mean? So, and going back to the question is, I just didn't want to sit here and always thought everybody was not as real as they said in this business. So I didn't want to come around Dre. And again, not to sit there and say, hey, Dre's one of them individuals I'm talking about, but to each his own, take it where the shoe fits, is when you're around somebody and you bring up something that's sensitive, they get to the point where, all right, well, cool. Everybody already knows it's not hard to get to Dre. So now it's like, all right, cool. Then, I just really don't want to be around that kid. Keep the kid away from me, type shit. You know what I mean? So as a kid, as younger, I already knew a lot of people wasn't as thorough like that. So I'm not going to do something where a person looks at like, well, let him, I don't know about letting him in, or, let him come around that much. He's bringing up stuff that makes me feel, just, weird, or asking me questions I didn't have a vibe to. Who knows? I had a real sit down with Q, where I told him a lot of heart to heart, like, even after the NWA movie, like, I don't got no ill feelings about nothing because you guys were doing this, I'm a real dude, you feel what I'm saying? I don't have no ego, bro, you feel what I'm saying? I don't get like that. So everybody could take that information and that truth on how they are, if they don't sit here and feel like they want to come around a karate or bring up certain stories or anything like that because of their impersonal feelings. I don't want to sit here and make them, have to live with that. When you come around a little Easy, like, shit, motherfucker making me feel or question it, Because I can easily sit there and say, hey, Dre, yeah, you fucked up. And like, I really want to know, why would you do that to go to another fucked up situation? You was with the stuff that created you. I used to live with grandma. I used to be over there all the time. Then you go over to this nigga Should, and this nigga's, shooting you and, forcing you to do shit, and you run, and then you left everything behind. Why do that? What was the point of going to those situations? So you look at it like, hey, you probably bring up a can of worms that a person did not want to remember they swallowed. You feel what I'm saying? Like, and I don't knock you. You feel what I'm saying? For not wanting to talk about that. If you ever did, hey, but I just don't want to be that individual where, when I was younger, coming around and I make them feel that way. Now, if you ask me that now, the next sit down I have with them, it'll be a lot of things I want to get off my chest because life's short. So, hey, let's go ahead and get these off. You could have been gone not too long ago. You know what I mean? Never get this opportunity. God is all blessings and praise to God that you okay.
So yeah, he had some health issues.
Yeah, so next time we sit down, I will actually sit here and say, hey, you know what? I figured we could just have a drink, man, and smoke, and let's go back down memory lane one time. So I would, you know what I mean? Now.
I would have loved to see them get back together.
Oh, man. Yeah,
yeah. That would have been classic,
yeah.
NWA. So, the beef and then coming back together and working and,
yeah.
that would have definitely been dope. Man.
Real talk, bro.